Indiana looking to apply what essentially would be the knockout punch of the series against Jalen Brunson and New York. And through the whole first half, Allen, it looked like they were going to do it. Obi Toppin with the slam.
It really was a party there in that first half, and it was once again the same formula. They were getting turnovers, turning them into points instantly, and it was demoralizing to the Knicks. Look at these leak-outs and breakouts and just how fast this team gets into transition, literally the Pacers.
Yeah, the Pacers had a 13-0 run in that second quarter. Their lead would swell to as many as 20, and it looked like it was going to be just a walk in the park from there. But the Knicks would cut it. Sort of small story. They cut it to 13 at the half. Manageable, right, Marcus? And then here came Deuce McBride.
Yeah, Deuce came off the bench and he played really well, man. It was great to see him get a chance to be at the head of the snake and get the team to play with a little bit of faster pace. And he made some really, really big shots there in that third quarter.
He did. He scored 9, kept them in it. Jalen Brunson in foul trouble, and then the fourth quarter. And Karl-Anthony Towns had the kind of quarter that Knicks fans, that basketball fans have been waiting for essentially all of their lives. He was spectacular.
Yeah, in the first half, he was get out of Towns. In the second half, he was Bodega Cat. They loved everything you see right here. Look at that finish.
Going strong. He would make 3 threes all in the quarter. He had 4 points through the first 3 quarters of this game. In the fourth quarter, he would score 20, personally outscoring the Pacers in the period single-handedly, carrying the Knicks back into the game. So now the Knicks have the lead. Now we got 1:20 left. Now we got Brunson with a floater, and the Knicks take the lead again at 23 points for Brunson. 30 seconds to go. Pacers down by 2. Miles Turner, no good. Josh Hart, huge board, makes both foul shots, and the Knicks are able somehow, some way, to keep themselves alive in the series. Down 20, they come all the way back to win it by 6. The Knicks are now the first team in the play-by-play era, so it goes back to 1998, to overcome 3 deficits of at least 20 points within a single postseason. All of them have come on the road. In fact, they are 6-1 on the road now in these playoffs. All 6 of those wins have been by 6 or fewer points. Here was Karl-Anthony Towns after the game.
I think the Detroit series, Boston series, we showed that this team never quits. And no matter what the deficit is, we're going to play to the final horn. And I think that tonight was another night where we get to show that New York grit that I talked about. We're a gritty team, and we're a team that's very unified in that locker room. So it's a testament to this whole team willing to sacrifice for one goal.
And it was one unbelievable performance. And Jay Williams, you were there. We'll start with you. You've known Cat pretty much all of his life. How about that performance in the fourth quarter last night?
I mean, Granny, it was dramatic, it was necessary, and it was bold, right? I mean, obviously, his first 3 quarters, not scoring in the first quarter, opening of the game, and then for him to have 20 of his 24 points and finish the way he did. I have to just say this off the top, Greeny. I've known Cat since he's been 14 years old. We both went to St. Joseph's High School in Metuchen, New Jersey. And one of the things that we have in common, not only playing at St. Joseph's in Metuchen, is that I lost my mother 2 years ago on April 8th. He lost his mother 5 years ago on April 13th to COVID. And for this performance, probably the biggest performance in his New York Knicks career to occur in a Game 7-like scenario. I mean, if they don't get this game, this series is done. Finito, it's over. For him to have this type of performance on Dominican's Mother's Day, and then dedicate that performance to his mother, it literally gave me chills. I think we saw the best version of Cat in the fourth quarter. Now, this needs to be repeated, but the Karl-Anthony Towns we saw in the fourth quarter with Jalen Brunson on the bench, that's the Karl-Anthony Towns that can play for a world championship team if he can continue to play this way.
Yeah, it's really well said. And look, the bottom line of it is if he doesn't have that fourth quarter, this series is over in every meaningful way. Markieff, you watch the performance. He does it from deep as he is able to do. He's aggressive, taking it to the basket. What did you see specifically in his game in that fourth quarter?
I've seen the whole arsenal, Greeny. I mean, I've seen the things that Cat has to do for them to win. Yesterday, he put the team on his back. He hit 6 buckets, had 4 points going into the fourth. I didn't think Indiana did a great enough job on him to be able to close that game out. And I think Cat just said, I'm just going to let it fly. The Big Bodega is back, man.
Big Bodega is back.
Hey, listen, he had a chance to be able to show who he was in the fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson was out with foul trouble. They took Mitchell Robinson out, which I thought was a great thing. That opened up the floor for him. So now he was able to drive it and get passing lanes. He was able to stretch the floor. And then he got a little crafty up top with a step-back 3. He was in his bag complete, and this is what the Knicks fans have been looking for. When Jalen Brunson is struggling, you have your second superstar to step up and can't deliver.
That's why you trade for him. That's exactly why you make a move like this, is for what the unique skill set that he brings. Now, keep in mind in the playoffs, we have seen this before. Game 6 against Boston, he was fantastic.
Right.
Game 4, he was fantastic in those games. It's the other games that fans get frustrated, the first half performance where you get frustrated. But he looked like what you were just talking about. They made the lineup change. They bring Mitchell Robinson into the starting lineup because they want to get more rebounding. They want to get more defense because the opposing teams have been picking on Karl-Anthony Towns in pick and roll. But that also is now an adjustment in how you play with a big man who's now going to sit in the paint. Now, he has played with Rudy Gobert in Minnesota, so he's kind of had that guy in the dunker spot. But it's a different look. But taking him off the floor and leaving Towns out there, with the lineup they had on the floor, when you consider that it's DeLon Wright who hasn't played a lot, it's Landry Shamet hasn't played a lot, there was no one else to carry the offense but him. He had to do it, and he came up huge when he was needed most.
JWill, you were there. The first take is, as I happened over here in their meeting this morning, I have no problem whatsoever taking their question and supplying it to ours. So, was this a game that the Knicks won? Or was this a game that the Pacers gave away? I felt like we asked that question all the time when the Knicks were making those comebacks against Boston. The Pacers basically had this series dead to rights in the third quarter of this game last night, and they let it get away. How did you see it in the building?
Really shocked to see with Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns in foul trouble that the game plan wasn't to continuously attack those guys on the offensive end. There were so many times, and I know that the Pacers play fast and there's a ton of continuity in the way they play, but I thought they missed key opportunities to hone in a little bit more in ISO basketball to attack those individual matchups. But look, the Pacers not forcing turnovers too was critical. The Knicks had carried the ball better in the fourth quarter, only 2 turnovers in the fourth for the Knicks. But I got to give all hats off to Karl-Anthony Towns in this performance. And also Jalen Brunson, there was a play that we'll talk about later where in game 1, he tries to make that play, Al and Hahn. Remember we talked about that. He tries to make that pass to OG Anunoby. OG, ends up losing the ball. And in this game, down the line when it mattered the most, Jalen Brunson did not make that pass. He managed the game. He kept the ball in his hands. He made those 2 free throws. Game over. It was a phenomenal performance. I give my cap off to the Knicks in this one.
So the Knicks played deeper last night. For those of you who don't follow it, the Knicks played 9 guys substantial minutes. But there's an old expression, right? Necessity is the mother of invention. Like, we could give Tom Thibodeau all the credit in the world for finally changing up his strategy. But last night he had to do it because of the significant foul trouble that his guys were in. Did he stumble onto something by going deeper, by playing guys who you had forgotten were even on the team going into last night's game? Do you think he stumbled onto a formula that could help the Knicks get all the way back in the series?
I think possibly, but I also think having Cat out there with the floor space really helped him out, right?
Yeah.
Like, he was able to be himself. He got the ball. He got touches every time down. You know how that feels when you know that the ball is going to touch your hands. In the first half, Mitchell Robinson was in his way. His game is inside out, and he couldn't just sit out there and settle for threes. I think he found something, but I've been saying this all season. You have guys on the end of that bench. You have to give them an opportunity to see what they can do. Shamet came in, played really well. We watched the game together, and I was like, this can either be super bad or it can actually be good, and it actually came out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The lineup change that he made in the
Yeah.
starting lineup, Mitchell Robinson for Josh Hart, is one thing. It's another thing entirely all of a sudden when you're playing guys like Wright and Shamet,
Yeah.
who had basically not seen the floor at all in this. He had to do that because of foul trouble. He went to them as defenders, counting on Karl-Anthony Towns to single-handedly carry the offense, and it worked.
I mean, look, when you bring guys that haven't played in the whole playoffs, Indiana has to take a step back and kind of regroup and see what those guys are giving. You haven't seen them all playoffs. It's a different look. Like Marcus said, I don't really know like if they found something, because early in the game they couldn't really get the groove with Mitchell Robinson in the game, right? In the start of the fourth quarter, Cat was able to drive the floor. He was able to play from outside, and then you had other guys come in that defended. Shamet hit a big 3. Also, he made some big plays off the dribble. So if I'm the Knicks, I definitely go back to that to see what it looked like.
Yeah, you're just trying to, when you're down 20 and you're down 0-2 in the series, you're trying to find 5 guys that can work. Like,
Anything,
I don't
right.
care who it is, I got to figure it out. And so he found something with those guys. And so then he sticks with it, which leaves Jalen Brunson on the bench, which, could be a critical move. But it's these guys are working. Whatever it is tonight is working. I'll worry about game 4 when that time comes. But how much of a confidence booster is that for those guys, though, for Wright and for Shamet? The next time they're called upon now, you at least have that confidence from game 3. And now you wonder, will he play 9 guys? Will Tom Thibodeau continue to do this? Or, Kenny Smith last night had a great line about how Tom Thibodeau wouldn't play 9 guys in a baseball game.
Right.
But he had to because of the foul trouble in this game. It forced him to do it. And you got to see something that maybe we wouldn't have known about.
So the question is, do we all of a sudden have ourselves a series? We'll answer that one as we go. Cindy, let's just wrap it up with one little stat I love. 822, if we can, just to sort of chalk it up. Perhaps we should have known that the Pacers were going to lose this game. File this under weird but true. The Pacers have now hosted 4 playoff games on the same day as the running of the Indy 500, and they are 0-4 in those games.
Putting up bricks in the brickyard.
Wow.
Call that one a trend.